Welcome to John Gets Games. Today, I'll be doing a full two-player run-through of Progress, the Evolution of Technology. I'll explain the game as I play it, so let's jump right into it. Alright, let's jump into a two-player playthrough of Progress. We've got the red player here and the blue. They each have their own little player board, and then we have a communal board here which shows the prestige, population, and army tracks for both of our civilizations. These are just majority tracks. They don't do any engine building. They just get victory points at the end of the game for being higher up on them. These player boards here track the various levels of our skills throughout the game. So we're going to do lots of different things, and they are going to be as good as our player board tells us that they are. So I'm just going to jump into turns, and I'll explain how the game plays as we go. So red player goes first. They get 5 cards, and let's take a look and see what they're going to want to do with their turn. So the first thing to note is in the top left corner of each of these cards is a bunch of symbols, and these are engine building symbols. They essentially make things better. We see in the top left of philosophy, we got 2 of them, we have this little plus icon, and that matches this row here on the top right hand corner of our little player board. And this is really important because this is the action icon. So at the beginning of the game, we have 2 actions that we can do on a turn because that's where the cube is. I have these little 2 action things to show that. That means if we were able to play philosophy, we would actually move this cube up once, and it would get us to 3 actions a turn, which is very powerful. Looking at the wheel, we've got this little plus sign and a stack, and we can see that that matches this middle line here. Now what this is, it shows us the number of technologies that we can have researching at any one point in time. I'll explain how researching works in just a minute, but right now we can only have 1, but if we had the wheel, we could research 2 at once. It would also get us a military, which is victory points at the end of the game, and a victory point at the end of the game. So that's not terribly interesting. And then further over here with bronze, we've got this little cog symbol with a card. That is, we would get one of these little chips right here, and this would give us 1 technology currency for the rest of the game per turn. There are 3 different types of currencies. There's technology, there is culture, and then there is also science. I guess lastly, there's also general knowledge, which is a wild. It covers all 3 of these here. So this helps us get our currency engine going with BronzeWorks. So in order to discover any of these, we're going to have to pay the cost in the bottom part of the card. We see that for wheel, we have 1 little cog here, which means that it costs 3 technology specifically in order to get a wheel out. And we see with BronzeWorks, it's got a 2 and a cog, and then next to masonry and a 2 and a cog next to agriculture. That means that BronzeWorks is going to cost 4 technology to make. However, if we happen to have agriculture already going in our civilization, then that would pay for that bottom part. We don't have to pay for the top part. So I think probably the most important thing early game is to get more actions. So if we look at philosophy over here, we see that it costs 2 culture and 2 science, unless we had musical instruments or alphabet to kind of get the stuff going already. But the other way that we can get these things out there is we can discard cards in our hand for their general knowledge value. We see this little number in the bottom left. So that little general knowledge means that this would cost 4, and we've got 5 cards. So I think what we're going to want to do is going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. We're going to discard these for 4 general knowledge, which is going to allow us to play philosophy because that covers our 2 culture and our 2 science. And now we get to move our action track up by 1. So it cost us 1 action to discover philosophy, but now that we have philosophy, we get another action. So that's really great at the start of the game. These cards all go off to a discard pile, and now we have 2 more actions. The first of these, I think, is going to be a quick draw. So the way quick drawing works, there are 3 different ways to draw cards in this game, 3 different actions, and they are listed on the side of our player board here. Quick draw is the bottom one. We see this little 1/0. That means we just draw 1 card and then we discard 0 cards. Now, the reason we do that instead of the draw action here, which gets us 3 cards, is that the draw action is going to end our turn. So we want to do that as our last action. So we're going to spend 1 action to do a quick draw. Draw 1 card, and that gets us a calendar into our hand. And let's see here. So this one would give us a general knowledge and a prestige victory point track at the end of the game. But it's going to cost us 4 mathematics. We have only 1 action left. So I think we're just going to do the 3 draw actions. So we're going to draw 1, 2, actually at this point, so you're able to draw from the top of the age we're currently in, or that have been unlocked, or from the top of the discard pile. And if you see here, the top card I put into the discard pile was Bronzeworks, and we just drew Agriculture, which is a discount for Bronzeworks. So I think I'm just going to draw the top card from the discard pile as my third draw action, and this is going to finish my turn. That was my third action. So now it is the blue player's turn. So the blue player starts with 6 cards in their hand as kind of a bonus for not going first. And let's see what they've got going on here. We have no duplicates going on, so that gives us quite a few options. One thing to note, we could just straight up buy mining, which costs 5 technology in order to get going, and that would get us an action to have us competing with red immediately. We would have to discard our 5 cards, so that definitely gives us an option. But we also have Bronzeworks, and if you notice that the mining is actually free if you get Bronzeworks out first. So if we look to Bronzeworks, that would get us a technology every single turn, and it only costs us 4, so that's actually a way better deal, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to build the Bronzeworks, which costs 2 and 2, so it's going to discard 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. We're going to discard those over to the discard pile. And this gets Bronzeworks into play, costs us 1 action to do that. Now this gets us a technology tile for the rest of the game. I'm just going to put it here. So this can be flipped once per turn to get us a technology currency, which is pretty great. And now that we have Bronzeworks out, we have the full prerequisite for mining. So we can spend our second action to play mining, and let's just put it down right on top of this one already because we already got the stuff for that. And this is going to get us an action cube, which is going to get us a new action already. So already this is a way better turn than the red player had. But let's see. So the last thing I think we're going to do is we're just going to spend that action and draw 3 cards because we don't have a hand. So we get 1, 2, 3. And the reason I went one at a time like that is because you're allowed to stop after each card and see if you want to go after that discard pile draw instead based on how the stuff works together. So that is the blue player's turn. All right, let's see what red got for their hand. We've got a pretty good combination already here with Agriculture working into the Bronzeworks. And we've got 2 things that want Masonry, but we don't actually have Masonry, so that's a bit of a bummer. But since Agriculture is so cheap, it only costs 1 technology to build, I think what we're probably going to want to do here is let's get rid of the calendar. So we're going to spend that 1 currency to play Agriculture up to here. That's going to immediately bump us up once on the research track here. It's also going to get us a population cube, so that goes up by 1 up here, as you can see up there. So that costs us 1 action. And for our second action, because we don't actually have the currency to get the Bronzeworks going at the same time, I think we're going to do a quick draw, see what we get. It's writing. That's not terribly interesting to us. So then let's discard these 2 cards to pay for the Masonry cost, because Agriculture is already covered. To get the Bronzeworks into play, we'll kind of cover up the Agriculture there. This gets us a technology token and a victory point at the end of the game, so that's pretty good. And of course, that was our quick draw and our final action played. All right, blue player's turn. Let's see what options we have here. We don't currently have any synergies going on. We kind of wish we had mathematics, but we don't. And we have this 1 technology currency up here, which is pretty good. So I think I want to start researching. I'm going to start researching medicine because it has some pretty good prerequisites going into the second age, so I don't really need it right now. So in order to research, you put the card kind of over here. And now we get to do the research part. So we've been discovering everything so far, but now we're going to research. So when we do this, we take cubes equal to this value here, black cubes, so we see a 4. We put those on top of the technology itself here. They're essentially time cubes. So we're going to pull these off once per turn, and once we take the last one off, we will know medicine, and it costs us no actual resources. The only resource was time. The other really nice thing about this is while you're researching something, it counts as a prerequisite for getting out discoveries faster. We don't have any synergy right now, but I'm kind of hoping it'll happen by the time 4 turns go by. So this costs us our first action, and we still got 2 more left. Unfortunately, we have no current use for this technology symbol here, so I think we're just going to do a quick draw, which gets us monotheism. Okay, this is mildly interesting. This little 2 in the arrow, this means that once monotheism gets played, we will jump into the second age. and we'll get to start drawing out of the H2 deck, which is pretty good. The other nice thing about monotheism is it gets us 2 general knowledge in order to build something, so that costs us an action, so this means we could actually get burial out if we wanted to. And see, here's the other thing. I could draw 3 more cards, but I have a hand limit of 5 right now, so I don't really want to burn that. So let's just not waste cards. Let's get rid of monotheism. We're going to discard that to the discard pile, and that's going to get our burial created. But the only thing that really does for us is it increases our army track by 1 for blue. Alright, that was last action, so now red. Alright, red has no cards. That's not good. So let's start with a quick draw. Get 1 card here, Bridges. Nope, don't have Masonry yet, so that's unfortunate. That spends 1 of our 3 actions here. So we spent 1. Let's quick draw again. Gets us mining. Ooh, this is great. We've got Bronzeworks already, and as you can see down here, mining costs Bronzeworks. So we can get this played for free. So that was the quick draw, and then we're going to spend our last action here to get mining into play. This gets us another spot on the action track, although they're both 3, which just means we're getting closer to 4 actions, but we're not there yet. So that was our last action. On to the other player. So the first thing that blue gets to do is take one of these timing cubes off of medicine, so we're only 3 turns away from having it discovered. We have 1 card in our hand, and it doesn't really synergize with anything, so let's do a quick draw. Ironworks. Alright, so this, let's see, do we have Bronzeworks? We do have Bronzeworks. This is great. So Ironworks lets us play it for free because we have the entire prerequisite, and it's going to put us into the second age of the game, which will allow us all to start drawing H2 cards, and I don't really see a reason not to do that. So let's go ahead and, let's see, that was our quick draw, and this will be playing Ironworks down, which is going to initiate the second age, so we can now draw from the second stack, and that's going to get us 1 army point over here, so it's blue. Blue's doing really well with the army. And we've got 1 more action, so let's do a draw of 3. We'll do it 1 at a time. We can draw from the second age stack. So we've got University, which has quite a bit of general knowledge. Let's draw 1 more H2 card. The Renaissance. Let's see, unfortunately, neither of these work with the medicine prerequisite like I was hoping. So let's draw an age 1 card just to see if we get a little bit more synergy going. Oh, crop rotation, that's another H2 card, so that's a bit of a bummer, but alright, red's turn. Red has 1 card. It is Bridges, which is not terribly interesting for the moment. We've got 3 actions to choose from, but we are also in H2, so when we do our quick draw, we can draw from either stack, although I think we still want synergy going on here. I'm going to go ahead and draw an age 1 card. We got Organized Religion. We don't have Burial, so that doesn't really help us out there. That costs us an action. Let's quick draw again. Mathematics. Alright, let's see here. Math is pretty great because it would let us have hold more cards at the end of our turn. Also, there are several prerequisites for it. So I think for our, let's see, we quick draw twice. I think for our 3rd action, let's get math researching over here for, I guess, 4 more turns since we haven't increased that stat at all. And now it's blue's turn. So blue has some pretty good cards here, but still no synergy going on. We've got quite a bit of general knowledge to play with. I think we really want to get the calendar built because it's going to get us a general knowledge token for the rest of the game, which is, it's a while, so that's really great. It's going to cost us 4 science, so I think what we'll do is we'll just get rid of crop rotation and university to get us the 4 stuff to get the calendar in play. Calendar goes here. This lets us bump up the prestige track over here, so blue is doing really well on the prestige track, on all those tracks so far. And then we get a general knowledge token, which we can use on this turn as well, so we're doing pretty good so far. And that only cost us, let's see, the 1 action so far. Now that we have all these discounts, I think let's do another H2 quick draw. Get newspapers. And wow, this is really expensive, but it gets us 3 buying power. So that was our 2nd action. I think we'll do our 3rd action as a regular draw. Let's try our luck 1 more time. Let's get another H2 card. It's the compass. Man, we're not getting synergy with our medicine. Oh, speaking of medicine, forgot to take off a timing cube. Let's push our luck a little bit more. Let's do another H2 card. The printing press. Nope, still no synergy. So our 3rd card, let's just grab an H1, hoping for a little bit of synergy. It's irrigation, which we don't have yet, so that might end up being helpful. All right, red turn. So the first thing that red player is going to do is take off a timing cube from mathematics. And we've got 3 actions, and we really want to get some of these cards out here. Fortunately, so Bridges costs 5, but we do have this 1 here, which could be a discount down to 1, but we don't have much going on here. So let's quick draw an age 2 card to hope for some good general knowledge. And we got a 2, which is not quite what we wanted. However, ooh, this is interesting. So we get a 4 cog discount with mining in play, and we already have mining out there. However, the bridges gets us a general knowledge, and the coal mining only gets us a technology. So I think we actually still really want to get the bridges out. So let's draw another age 2 for a quick draw. So that comes over here, and of course that's 2 actions spent. And we got Renaissance Arts. So this is just some general knowledge for us. With our third action, I think we're just going to spend 1, 2, and then flip this guy over for 5 total in order to get bridges built, which will go here. And those cards go to the discard pile, and now we get a general knowledge from the bank, which is always useful, and our turn is over. First thing we do is take a timing cube off of medicine. We're 1 turn away from having that. And let's see what options we've got to play with here. So everything is really expensive so far. In fact, we have a couple age 3 cards, which we really don't care about yet. So I think we actually want to get irrigation down because it's going to increase our draw power potential for rebounding from turns where we spend all of our stuff. So in order to get that out, we already have the calendar for a discount there. We don't have agriculture, so it's still going to cost us 2 technology. So we can flip over both of these in order to play our irrigation. So irrigation goes here, and that's going to immediately bump up our draw power. And now we have 2 more actions. Well, we can actually build this printing press because we have Ironworks already, which is a 3 cog discount, so it still costs us 5. But we've got all sorts of general knowledge inside of our hand already. So I say we get rid of, let's go with the compass and the Renaissance Arts for 5. That's going to allow us to build the printing press over here, and that'll bump this research track up. So this means whenever I start a new research over here, I'm only going to have to put 3 timing cubes on it. So that's pretty great. This is our second action, and for our third action, I say we do a really big draw. Let's get an age 2, another age 2. Ooh, Ironworks, that's great. Another age 2, chemistry. Ooh, we finally got some synergy over there. And then let's go with an age 1, just to try and round things out in case we get some synergy going. All right, Red's turn. Let's take a time cube off of mathematics, and then let's see, we have this 1 card here. We can flip this back over so it's usable. And we can't do a whole lot of stuff at the moment, although keep in mind, we could start another research project over there, but it's quite slow. I say let's do our first action as a quick draw, and let's grab an age 2 card. Let's see if it's worth it. Let's see, we got Renaissance Arts in the theater with the opera, and that isn't really what I was going for, unfortunately. So I think let's just start a new research with organized religion over here. So we put that, we grab 4 more timing cubes. So we're going to pull cubes off of both of those on our next turn. And that was our second action. And then for our third action, let's just do a draw. And I think at this point, let's grab, let's see, an age 2 card. We got a blast furnace. Another age 2. We got a windmill. Let's go again. Age 2. And cartography. All right, Blue's turn. So the first thing Blue gets to do is take off the last timing cube for medicine, so he now has medicine. So we put that out here, and that's going to get us a population track over here, so we get to bump Blue up here. Blue is doing really well with that board over there. And we get to refresh these, and let's see what we got for options. Well, right off the bat, we have some amazing synergies here. We can get chemistry for free because we have medicine, and we can get cast iron for free because we have Ironworks. So, I mean, I don't see a reason not to do both of those. Let's plop a chemistry down right here, which is going to get us a science currency, which is pretty great, costs us an action. And then let's play cast iron over here. Oh, I forgot to mention, chemistry is going to get us an army value for Blue. So Blue's doing really well with that. And then cast iron gets us a upgrade to our quick draw, which is really nice because we've been doing lots of quick draws in the middle of our turn. It seems like Blue is doing very well right now. And that was his second action, so I think let's just do a, let's see, actually we upgraded this, so maybe let's get something researching because we can do it faster. And I think it'll just be musical instruments because we don't want to lose the really good general knowledge going on here, and there's no amazing synergy I have yet. So musical instruments goes there, and then we only take 3 timing cubes this time because we upgraded, and now it's Red's turn. The first thing Red gets to do is take 2 timing cubes off, 1 from each of his researching technologies. And now let's see what options we have. And this is pretty frustrating. We have pretty much no synergy going on with our prerequisites right now. In fact, we don't have quite enough to even get one of these things played. So I think we're going to play our first action over here to do a quick draw, which is going to get us the sanitation here, which again doesn't really help us out at all. But I mostly did it for the general knowledge because I think that we really want to get one of these action cards out. So this lets us get the opera going because we can flip over this general knowledge to handle one of the 9 here, and then we can discard 2, 4, 6, 8 stuff to the discard pile in order to get the opera played. It's our second one of these, so we go there. This is going to increase our prestige track over here, so we're now tying blue. And then we get another action. So now we have something on blue. Blue's got great synergy going on, but we got 4 actions. So we add another one over here, and well, we don't have a hand or anything. So let's start spending those actions to draw cards. We've got sanitation, which doesn't really do us anything at the moment, so let's do that again. We've got gunpowder. Let's see, we don't, nope, still no synergy going on here. So let's end the turn with just a 3-card draw. We'll get library, which doesn't help, a printing press, and we've got, nope, still no synergy there. And let's go with an age 1, just so we maybe have some synergy going on. We get poetry. All right, Blue's turn. First thing Blue does is take off one of his timing cubes from musical instruments, and then let's see, we've got 2 cards in our hand and a whole bunch of currency that we can spend. I think we're going to want to spend the first action doing a quick draw, which is upgraded now, so we get to draw 2 cards and then discard one of them. So let's draw the first one from age 2. It's a blast furnace. Don't think that really does much for us, but let's draw another age 2 card, and it is papers. So now we have to discard one of these 4 cards. And I think it's just going to be blast furnace because we don't care about age 3 yet, and it only has 2 general knowledge on it. We are definitely interested in getting our action track up, although we have 2 to go in order to get to 4. We can get paper built. It's going to cost us 6 stuff total, but that'll be 5, 4 stuff, and then let's see, we can just, I don't know, get rid of newspapers here, which actually kind of overpays, so I guess we'll undo the general knowledge there, and this lets us get paper discovered. That's going to get us 1 up on the action track, although not quite enough for 4 actions. And then we get 1 over here on prestige. So blue is staying ahead as far as all those victory points are concerned. That was our second action. So for our third action, I think we just do another really good draw for 4 cards. Let's look at some age 2. We got chemistry. Oh, we actually are not allowed to play that again, so that's not very good for us. And we got theater, which doesn't do much yet. Let's do another age 2, university, and let's just keep going to that lonely age 1 draw over here. And now it's Red's turn. First things first, Red takes a timing cube off both of these, which unlocks mathematics, so we get to put that into play, which is going to increase our overall hand size, which hasn't really been a problem yet, but hey, I'll take it. And now, let's see what options we have for our turn. So the first thing that we can do with our 4 actions over here is we can get poetry into play, because we have philosophy, so that is free, and I see no reason not to do that. So what that does is it bumps us up on the shuffle draw track, which I haven't talked about at all yet because up until this moment, it wasn't particularly good. The way shuffle draw works is you shuffle in one of these discard stacks into a deck, and then you draw up to the number. So we could shuffle 2 stacks and then draw 2 cards in the middle of our turn without ending our turn with that action. So we're probably going to be doing that from now on instead of the quick draw because it nets us 2 cards. This cost us the 1 action. So this next thing is a little goofy, but I think what we want to do is get the printing press out because it's going to make our timing cubes less, and since we can have 2 things going at once, I think that's pretty good synergy. So we'll play the printing press down, and that's going to cost us a technology, a general knowledge, and then it's going to cost us 6 more general knowledge. So we've got 2, 4, 6. All this goes into the discard pile, and now we bump this up on our track. That costs us 1 action. Now let's do a shuffle draw. So we're going to look over here, and I think we're going to shuffle, let's shuffle both of these decks in and then draw cards. And the first card will be age 2, and it is university. And the second card will be age 2 again, because why not? And that is astronomy. So that costs us 1 action to do that. And I think we now want to get another research going because we just upgraded our stuff. One thing I haven't been showing you is this crazy tech tree. I've been kind of doing it off camera, and it's been part of the thinking behind what card I'm researching because I'm looking at which technology benefits the most stuff, potentially trying to hedge my bets for what cards I'm going to get in the future. So for instance, we can see that astronomy right here only prerequisites into 1 thing, whereas university over here prerequisites into two things. So I think I'm going to research the university. So that costs our last action. The university is going to go up here. We're only going to take 3 timing cubes, and now it's blue player's turn. First thing we do is take off a timing cube, so we only have 1 more for the musical instruments. We refresh our stuff, and then we see what our options are. Mostly to get the synergy going on here, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play poetry first, which is going to cost us 5 culture. So let's flip over. Well, we got to get rid of chemistry no matter what, because we can't play it anymore. So that gets us 2 stuff, and then 3 stuff, and let's see here. All right, 4 or 5 stuff. So now we can play poetry down, which is going to increase the shuffle draw for the blue player. So now they have that really good option as well, and that costs us 1 action. Next up, since we now have poetry, we can just build the theater because, oops, poetry belongs over here. And we can just build the theater because that's the entire prerequisite for an action. So we drop the theater down here. That's going to increase our prestige over here. Blue is still kicking butt over there. And we're going to get a culture currency to keep using on each turn. And we have 1 more action. And I think we're just going to draw 4 cards. Red's turn. All right, red gets to take 2 timing cubes off of their research. And we got 4 actions to play with and 1 card. Oop, let's refresh these cards things over here. While we do have a little bit of synergy with organized religion and astronomy, we got 4 actions to play with, so I think let's do some shuffle drawing. So for 1 action, we're going to get 1, 2 cards. And you know what? This is too good to pass up. We've got the printing press already, and the university is being worked on, which lets us get the newspaper out, which is going to get us a population and a prestige, and it's going to start the 3rd age, and I think we're ready for that. So let's spend an action. We drop newspapers down over here, and let's get ourselves a population and a prestige for red. So we get prestige and population. We're finally winning one of the tracks. We've only got 2 actions remaining, but what the heck? Let's do a shuffle draw for age 3 cards and see what kind of cool stuff is in there. Evolutionary theory. And evolution theory again. Well, I really shuffled that well. But for our last action, I figure let's get astronomy going because we do have the discount of 3 for organized religion. We can flip this over to count as 1 of our 4 for cooperation. We only need 3 more. Well, we certainly don't need 2 evolutionary theories. And now we've got astronomy into play, which gets us a increased draw action, and it's going to give us an army over here for red. We got a long way to go, but hey, let's start chasing blue. All right, blue's turn. First thing we do is remove a timing cube from musical instruments, which now unlocks it. So that is going to get us another culture currency that we get to play with every turn. We can refresh this, and we've got a whole bunch of currency going on here. This is also going to get us a population track over here, so we're tying red again. Red is no longer winning anything. And let's see what our options are. And right off the bat, we've got some awesome stuff here. We've got coal mining, because we got mining and cast iron already going on over here. So we can play coal mining for 1 action. It's going to go over here. That's going to get us another technology currency. Holy cow, we have a lot of that. And we'll spend another action to play metallurgy, because this needs chemistry and cast iron, which we also have both of. So this drops down over here, which is going to increase our hand size to 6. We are painfully 1 away from being able to get cartography out to get our 4th action, so I think we're just going to do a 4-draw action, even though we're going to have to discard 1 of our cards. And now we have to discard something. Let's get a Renaissance Arts, and now it's Red's turn. First thing we do is remove a cube from both of these researching things, so we now have unlocked Organized Religion, which is going to go over here. It's going to get us a culture currency. We get to flip this guy back, and now we've got 4 actions. I think the first thing we're going to do is a shuffle draw of some age 3 cards to see what else we get. Hopefully by shuffling that evolution we don't get it again. And we didn't. Alright, let's see what options we've got here. Unfortunately we didn't get any synergy, so let's do that again. Ah crap, evolutionary theory's back. Unfortunately the only one of all these that's even worth researching is evolutionary theory. So we'll put that up there, and we get 3 timing cubes to put on top of it. And we've got 1 more action and a whole bunch of currency. So let's see if we can discover one of these. And I think the best thing to do is going to be to get the textile manufacturing down. So that's going to cost us 1, 2, and then another 9 in order to play it. And that will get us a technology currency. And more importantly, it's going to get us one of these prestiges, so we're tying blue again. That was our last action. Blue's turn. Unfortunately, we have no research happening, so let's see what our options are. One thing I forgot to mention, when we went into Age 3, we were to discard all Age 1 cards in our hands, but we didn't have any, and we cannot draw Age 1 cards anymore, so those are gone. And the game will be over if we go into Age 4, so that's probably coming up pretty quick. However, the game only ends once 2 of the Age 4 symbols show up, not just 1, like the previous 2 ages. I think we need to get cartography out, especially because we'll get the extra action, and then that'll bump over here into compass, which will bump over here into archaeology. So let's work on cartography. It's going to cost us 8 science. We don't have astronomy, unfortunately, but we've got a whole bunch of stuff over here. But that whole bunch of stuff actually only accounts for 2 science, but that means we can flip this over, and now we only need to spend 6 more. So I think we'll make it thermodynamics and modern arts. That cost us the 1 action, and now we get to play cartography. Woohoo! We finally get up to 4 actions. We finally caught up with red as far as that is concerned. So now we've got some stuff we can do. We have cartography, which means we can play compass for free. It gets us into the 3rd age, which we don't really care about, but why not? It's worth an action, I think, to get those 2 points. So we'll put the compass down over here, and now we have the compass, which will align up with our archaeology. Unfortunately, we don't have newspapers, and we don't have 6 buying power yet. No, I'm a liar, we totally do. So let's just do that for our 3rd action, because we can spend 1, 2, and then 4 with refrigeration, which will cover our newspapers. We get to drop archaeology down, which is going to give us an increase to our shuffle draw, which unfortunately doesn't actually change anything over there. Oh, actually it does. You see this little victory point symbol down there? That means that actually got me a point for doing that, and of course a point at the end of the game. And now we have 1 more draw action, so hey, let's draw 4 H3 cards. Alright, red player's turn. First things first, let's remove some timing cubes, which is going to unlock the university for red. So university goes down here. This is going to increase the quick draw for red, and it's also going to get us a prestige, which means the red is now winning on that track. Well, we really don't have anything going on right now, so I think we definitely spend an action to do a shuffle draw in order to get 2 cards. And it's modern arts and atheism. Let's see if those do much for us. Unfortunately, we really still don't have much synergy going on over here, so let's spend another one of these actions to draw 2 more. And man, that evolutionary theory is just won't leave me alone. I think at this point we're going to want to spend an action to build gunpowder. So gunpowder is going to go down over here, and it costs 8 stuff. So we can spend 8 science. Sorry, we can spend a general knowledge, and then we can drop, let's see, atheism, and let's get rid of evolutionary theory again. What this means is our draw power has gone up to 5, and this also gets us 2 armies. So over here, we have now caught up with blue, and we're now pressuring him. With our final draw action, let's draw 5 cards, even though we're going to have to discard down. And I see no reason to have 2 modern arts, so let's discard that, and now it's blue's turn. So we still have nothing researching. We flip over all of our little currency tiles, and now let's see what our options are. I think we're going to start by doing a shuffle draw for 2 cards, and we got 2 electricities. Electricity is a direct, well, it makes refrigeration happen, which is quite good. Unfortunately, I don't have either of the basic prerequisites for electricity. One thing I can do, though, and I think it's because I kind of want to hasten the end of the game, I think I'm probably in a better position, is I can start researching technology over here. Let's kind of get this stuff all out of the way. And we'll put 3 timing cubes on there, which means we now have that prerequisite. That costs us an action. And then we can spend another action to actually place refrigeration down. And so refrigeration goes over here. It's going to get us 2 over here on the population track. So now we have a pretty good lead over there. And it's an age 4 card. However, we need 1 more to actually cause the end of the game. We've got 1 action left. Let's see, what do we want to do with it? I think we'll do a draw for 4 cards, and then we'll discard down 2. Let's go with age 3, because I think that is our best bet for Victory Point Bang. I think we'll be getting rid of the rotary press and the railroad at this point. And now it is red's turn. Alright, so red takes a time cube off of evolutionary theory, and then we've got 4 actions to play with. If red could somehow play refrigeration, which is probably likely, he would end the game. And interesting thing about that is that would give us 2 population, which would mean we would match on that track. Would mean we'd tie both here and then have the lead on the prestige. So that might actually be kind of worth it. Let's see. I think red is going to try to end the game on this turn. So the first thing that we want to try and do is get, I think, geography built. So if we build geography, it's going to go over here, and we don't have the compass, so we've got to get 12 stuff out. So we can spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then, well, that's a bit unfortunate, but I think we have enough actions to still make this worth it. So we spend that, that goes away, and all these cards are discarded. In fact, actually, that's a overkill, so we'll undo this. And now we're going to get a prestige and an army. So our army is winning, and our prestige is super winning. And we've got 3 more actions. The first action is going to be a shuffle draw, because right now we just want general knowledge to try and get refrigeration built. So that got us 2 cards. Let's do it again and hope for the best. So unfortunately we're 1 off being able to play refrigeration. However, we have telegraph, which would also end the game, and I still think, since we're in the lead on 2 of these tracks, that we want to do that. So in order to play the telegraph, that's going to cost us 15 technology. So we'll start with the general knowledge. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14, and 15. So this gets discarded. We have now created the telegraph. This actually lets us go up once on the military track, although that doesn't terribly matter for red. And now the game is over. The first thing that we do now the game is over is we discard any technologies that are currently being researched. So we see reds is gone, and then blues is also gone, so we don't get those. And now we get to start adding up our points. So our points come from the victory points that are on all these cards that we've built over here, as well as the victory points we've hit on our little progress tracks, and then more importantly, this board over here. We got some tiebreaker action with the resources, but let's see how the points turn out. So it looked like red did the correct decision in ending the game, because red ended with 35 points. He has 8 points down here from the cards that he built throughout the game. No points for the progress tracks, and then it looks like, let's see, 10, 20, 29 points up here for this track, whereas blue over here was able to get 10 points from the cards, so more than red. 1 point for the track, so more than red. But this board right here was the decider, because we got the 24 up here. So blue ended up with 35 points, red ended up with 37. It was quite close. It's pretty interesting considering red had less cards in play than blue did, but red was also able to use the slightly more actions better as the game goes, and honestly was able to end the game on their turn. I imagine if red hadn't ended it, blue might have tried to and probably could have manipulated this board into winning themselves. And that was a full 2-player game of Progress, and also my first playthrough ever. I have a lot of days off in the middle of the week when all my friends are actually working, so I thought, what the heck, let's try to play a game with myself and record it. And I really enjoyed the whole process. I enjoyed the game, and I enjoyed the idea of trying to play two different characters at once. So you might start to see more of these as time goes on, because I get all these cool new games and then I have to wait 1 to 2 weeks to even play it with anybody, because my schedule just doesn't jive very well. I'm not going to do a review of it now, because this is literally the only time I've ever played it, so I can't really be critical of it at this point. But I liked how close it was, how one character kind of did one thing, or one player kind of did another, and it really felt like whoever ended the game was going to win it in this one, because it was so tight. So I definitely enjoyed it. Please let me know if you want me to do anything differently with potential walkthroughs that I do in the future, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you've seen. Thanks for watching.